Now at 10, one Pittsburgh State University sorority hosts an all-men's pageant for the Robbie Page Memorial. Plus, Big Brothers Big Sisters of Newton and Jasper counties host a bowling fundraiser.
And the threat of severe weather comes into the plains tomorrow. I'll have all the details in our forecast when we come back.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Meteorologist Sam Lane joins us now for a first look at the weather.
Thank you very much, Cale. Yeah, we've had some cool days the last few days. Yesterday we were only in the 40s. This afternoon we only made it into the upper 40s to lower 50s as temperatures have been falling a little bit. They're going to continue to fall through the 40s tonight all the way down to 42 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. But looking down the lane, we have some showers for tomorrow, along with the threat of severe weather late tomorrow night into early Monday, followed by some very strong winds on Wednesday morning, and then maybe a winter mix in our forecast as well on Friday morning. So we have a mixed bag of weather to talk about in our forecast, and I'll have all the details on that coming up in just a little bit.
All right, thank you, Sam. Big Brothers Big Sisters of Newton and Jasper counties host a bowling fundraiser today. KOAM's Carrie Worthen joined them at Carl Richards 4th Street Bowling Alley.
If I'm bowling to win, we're all in trouble, but I'm here for a lot of fun. Every year I have a few streaks where I think I can bowl, so we'll see. Give me a couple rounds and I'll be there this year.
Seth McConnell is just one of many people who came out for a Bowl for Kids' Sake fundraiser to help support Big Brothers Big Sisters.
We come out, we have a great time, we bowl. It's not competitive, so you're not going to have to worry about, if you want to come out and bowl a 300, great, but you're not required to. And it's just one of our most favorite fundraisers we do each year.
Not only is there bowling, pizza, and prizes, there are also raffle experiences from baseball games to Branson trips.
It's I would say almost, if not more rewarding for the big. Just knowing that they are here able to help this child who just needs that little extra love. What are some of the things you like to do? Do you like to go play disc golf, or do you like to go to the library and read some books? It is just spending that time with that child who just needs that positive adult role model in their life.
It means a lot. It helps to know that people out there are rooting for you and caring for you, and that's an organization like this.
It's huge. 40 years ago, I was a little brother, and so just having that one person to invest into your life. And what I always say is that we don't change the kid. The kid's not broken. We're not trying to fix him.
In Joplin, Carrie Worthen, KOAM News.
You can find more about Big Brothers Big Sisters of Jasper and Newton counties on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Pittsburgh State University's Sigma 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 chapter hosted their Mr. Robbie Page men's pageant at the Bicknell Center for the Performing Arts. All proceeds went to the Robbie Page Memorial, which raises money to build therapeutic playrooms for sick children. The pageant had 10 contestants representing the different fraternities on campus. The men showed off different outfits and a talent.
So this is an event that we've actually done annually for quite a while, and it takes a lot of planning to kind of get all the men organized, get them involved. But this is the first time we've actually ever done it here at the Bicknell, so we're really excited to kind of have a bigger stage and a little bit more, hopefully, of an audience here to really grow this and continue to grow it in the future. So.
Sigma 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 has more philanthropic events planned for the rest of the semester. State Historical Society of Missouri art curator Joan Stack was at the George A. Spiva Center for the Arts in conjunction with their current art exhibition, Thomas Hart Benton, the complete editioned lithographs. To discuss Thomas Hart Benton's interest in both making artwork that represented everyday Americans and in creating affordable original artworks available to middle-class consumers.
Well, it was really exciting to be able to bring Benton's artwork back to the region where he was born, because Thomas Hart Benton was born in Neosho, Missouri. He worked in Joplin as a teenager, so this is his old stomping ground. So to bring his work here, where people, are proud to have this native son who came from Joplin, to bring this really comprehensive collection of his lithographs here was really exciting.
The event was free and open to the public. Donations were appreciated. The Neosho Freeman Family YMCA was at Neosho Junior High School today for their Fire Department versus Law Enforcement charity basketball game. This was the first ever Guns versus Hoses basketball game. On top of all the sporting action, family activities for all ages were provided before and during the game. Some of the activities included were face painting, giveaways, a silent auction, and a half-court shot at halftime.
You know what? Favorite part was all night. I mean, kicking it off, seeing everybody around, the energy in there, the wrap up. Everybody's still here right now, just celebrating the whole evening. So it was just a great event all around.
Proceeds went to benefit YMCA's annual campaign, which provides scholarships for the YMCA every year. About a month ago, Pearl Brothers True Value on Main closed after a presence in Joplin since 1905. The owner told KOAM he was retiring at the age of 67. He just couldn't keep up with the demanding work of a hardware store. The building had sold to local developer Neal Group Construction, and earlier today, while working on the project, they took down the sheet metal facade. The sheet metal would have been installed nearly 60 years ago. Oklahoma City police say 8 people were injured, 2 critically and 6 with minor injuries, following a large fight that broke out at a nightclub earlier tonight. Police say no arrests have been made, and it's not clear what caused the fight. Investigators say several police officers were posted outside the club as part of security protocols and responded to the incident. Police say officers rendered life-saving measures to 2 people who appeared to have serious stab wounds. And coming up, a new zombie drug is causing issues across America. Plus, a sleep specialist has some information on how melatonin can impact your sleep habits. A new drug is sweeping across major cities in the United States. Some people call it the zombie drug. Others call it tranq. Not only does it have an increased chance of causing an overdose, but it rots the user's skin. Now, some states, including South Carolina, are taking action. Mike Owen reports.
So it's known as a zombie drug. It's also known as tranq. It is a veterinary tranquilizer. So if it's being cut with other drugs, it's also a drug potentiator. So it increases the high of any other drug that it might be cut with.
Users cut xylazine or tranq with opioids like fentanyl to increase their high. But overdoses are more common when addicts use both drugs together. And because tranq is not an opioid, Narcan doesn't work on it.
The drug all around is absolutely terrifying. It also destroys the tissue at the injection site. So not only is it terrifying concept as the way it works and things like that, but visually as well, it can be terrifying.
The drug gives users a zombie-like appearance because it causes excessive drowsiness and rots their skin, sometimes all the way to the bone. While Myrtle Beach has not seen any cases of tranq overdoses yet, Smith says they're preparing.
We're going to send out an advisory to first responders just to know what to look for, especially with that visual component of the possibility of ulcers and things like that around injection sites. That'll give them the tools and the information that they need.
Captain Jonathan Evans with Myrtle Beach Fire says they're working with the opioid coordinator and will adjust to whatever drugs come their way.
We try to stay prepared for any kind of situation, but obviously there's things that will come about that we'll have to adapt and overcome with, and as things change, just like with the fentanyl and everything else, we'll have to adapt our procedures and make sure we're keeping ourselves safe while also protecting our public.
Dr. Mari Hovat, who is a sleep specialist at the Cleveland Clinic, talks about the impacts that the well-known drug melatonin has on our sleep habits.
Melatonin is a common over-the-counter supplement used to help people fall asleep. It's available for kids and adults. So how exactly does it work? Dr. Mary Horvat is a sleep specialist with the Cleveland Clinic.
Melatonin is going to be triggered to be produced when there's darkness. So our brain starts to produce it when we get that input of darkness. And then melatonin will lead to that feeling of drowsiness and sleepiness that people get. So it helps you fall asleep.
But doctors encourage people to check with a healthcare provider first. Melatonin is available in a variety of dosages from 1 milligram to 10 milligrams or higher, but the correct dosage depends on the person using it. Too much melatonin can throw off your internal clock and actually make it harder to get a good night's sleep. Doctors also say it's important to find out the root cause of your sleep problems. There may be underlying health issues that require care.
Mental health issues, sleep apnea, all of those can kind of link into it. Sometimes even just the medications that you're taking could be contributing to your sleep problems.
Dr. Horvat adds, scrolling through your phone and watching TV in bed can also contribute to your sleep problems.
A little later, rallies are being held from coast to coast this weekend to support Ukraine.
And we're watching all the data coming in, and I'll have the updated forecast on the severe weather risk for tomorrow when we come back. It's hard to believe after a cloudy and cool day today that we're going to be dealing with severe weather tomorrow. But of course, that's life in the 4 states. It can change on a dime, and that's what we're expecting. We're seeing mostly cloudy skies tonight down in Seneca, Missouri at Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. And it's going to stay cloudy through most of tonight and into tomorrow. High today, 50, starting out at 33, which was actually pretty close to the normals of 53 and 32. Records are 75 and 0. Big old goose egg back in 1965. Radar is clear right now, but that's going to be changing over the next 24 to 30 hours as we go through time. We're going to see those storms develop, and they are likely going to be severe with some very strong winds. And speaking of winds, tomorrow evening we're going to see winds out of the south and east around 30 miles per hour, gusting at times up to 35. Then some of the storms, as they roll through our area tomorrow night, we could see wind gusts up to 60, 70 miles per hour in some isolated storms as they roll through. And then the winds will be decreasing a little bit as we go through Monday morning, but still very windy out there with wind speeds over 40 miles per hour. Then by Monday evening, we're expecting winds to drop down to around 20 miles per hour as the storm system moves away. Right now it's 39 in Iola, 40s elsewhere, close to 50 down to the south, and dew points are increasing too. And it's these dew points that's going to help fuel those storms tomorrow. We're seeing dew points in the 30s and 40s right now. As we go through tomorrow, we'll start to see dew points in the 50s. Right now in Joplin, we have a west-south wind of 7 with a temperature of 45, so it feels like 41. In Pittsburgh, you can see the wind blowing the flag there a little bit, and a temperature of 44 degrees with a feeling like 40 degrees with a dew point of 37 degrees. Here's the highest risk of severe weather out in western Oklahoma tomorrow. That's where the supercellular thunderstorms are expected to be, your classic tornadic type storms. Then it's going to form a squall line and roll to the east. And as a result, we have an enhanced risk extending over into our area. So there is a low to moderate tornado risk, low on the hail, very high on the strong and severe winds, and moderate on the heavy rain, beginning tomorrow night at 9 o'clock till about 2 a.m. in the morning. So it's going to have to be watched very, very closely. Helicity is one of those factors that we look at for determining severe weather. And these are what we call updraft helicity swaths. And right now you can see by tomorrow evening at 6:30, those helicity swaths are going to be strongest in northwestern Oklahoma. That's where your classic tornado situation is going to be. But then it forms a squall line and rolls to the east, and we get what we call quasi-linear convective system type tornadoes, or tornadoes that form along the leading edge of a squall line. That's why we're concerned about the threat of severe weather with isolated tornadoes possible. QLCS type tornadoes usually form extremely quickly. They do their thing and then they're gone just as quickly. So it's very important for you to pay attention tomorrow evening to not only the tornado warnings but severe thunderstorm warnings as well. In fact, here's a look at some of the tornado safety tips. Best place to be, bathroom, hallway, or closet, away from outside walls and windows. You don't want to be in those places. You want to find a small interior room and protect your head from flying debris, as most fatalities in tornadoes are a direct result of injuries to the head. And of course, a basement or a safe place is the best place to be in a tornadic situation. We'll continue to monitor it very closely. Highest chances of rain tomorrow night from around 10 o'clock to 1 a.m. And then here's a breakdown of that. You can see temperatures dropping in the 30s and 40s tonight with scattered showers. Showers continue all day tomorrow, off and on with temperatures in the upper 50s to around 60. Here comes the storms by 10 o'clock tomorrow night, around midnight here in the metro, and then by 2 a.m. it's all gone, moving off towards the east. We're left with very strong winds out of the west-southwest with temperatures in the 50s in the morning, and then in the afternoon, mid-60s across the area. And then by the time we go into Tuesday morning, lows drop down in the 30s and the 40s with easterly winds. Rainfall amounts are going to be highest with the strongest storms, maybe an inch in one of those. Most areas will probably receive around a third to half an inch of rainfall. Over the next 7 days, alert day tomorrow, windy on Monday, and then nicer on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then more rain on Thursday night into Friday, and some of that could mix over with some snow. We can't forget about winter after all. and then nicer after that, with temperatures getting a little bit closer to normal. And don't forget, tomorrow evening I'll be hosting a Twitter space for discussion on the severe weather. You can find it there at Sam Lane WX tomorrow at 7 o'clock.
Gotcha, yeah, and they can download that Skywatch weather app.
Absolutely.
All kinds of resources.
Absolutely. We're going to be watching it very closely.
Well, thank you, Sam. And don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, the KOAM Skywatch weather app. A powerful winter storm that swept down the west coast with flooding and frigid temperatures focused on Southern California today. Blizzard warnings continued in the California mountains and flood advisories blanketed the region. CBS News correspondent Christian Benavidez reports from Plains, Georgia.
Up and down California, residents are battling a rare winter storm.
Before you know it, you can be driving in this and you hit the ice.
The snowplows were out in full force in the San Bernardino Mountains northeast of Los Angeles. 3 motorhomes were swept into the Santa Clara River when an embankment collapsed. It wasn't a movie special effect, but Mother Nature that brought the unusual sight of snow to the Hollywood sign. Heavy rains filled the generally bone-dry Los Angeles River with raging floodwaters, and flooding trapped cars and shut down parts of Freeway 5 in Sun Valley. Friday, near whiteout conditions in the high desert area northeast of LA caught residents off guard.
We don't get this ever, so this is terrific.
By Saturday, Santa Clarita Valley residents woke up to a mix of snow and rain. Even parts of the Bay Area saw rare snowfall in communities like Berkeley Hills. In the state center, dogs and even goats enjoyed a romp in the snow. The storm put some to work, but left a little time for fun.
After I finished shoveling my path here in our driveway, I wanted to make a snowman. It was just too irresistible with this good pack of snow.
And outside San Francisco, these kids certainly weren't letting a rare snow day go to waste. Christian Benavides, CBS News.
Hundreds of canceled flights at airports around the country were canceled because of the storm. The storm also shut down miles of major highways in Fridays on California, Oregon, and Nevada. Still ahead, it's been 1 year since the Ukraine-Russia conflict began, and Americans across the country are showing their support for Ukraine at various rallies. Last year, all eyes were on the Ukrainian border, watching refugees flee from the first Russian bombs. Now the focus has shifted from survival to resolution, and how to bring this conflict to an end.
As crowds around the world rallied in support of Ukraine, President Biden defended more than $32 billion in American military support.
The cost of walking away could be considerably higher than the cost of helping Ukraine maintain its independence.
Telling ABC News it will help President Zelensky negotiate peace from a position of strength.
He needs tanks, he needs artillery, he needs air defense.
The latest $2 billion package includes ammunition and small high-tech drones, but not fighter jets. Ukrainian officials say they need better air support to counter Russia's relentless assaults.
There is no basis upon which there is a rationale, according to our military now, to provide F-16s.
But you're not ruling it out?
I am ruling it out for now.
For now, the Ukrainians will have to make do with tanks, delivered by Poland this week, and another round of sanctions. Those sanctions so far do not target China, which German media reports could be negotiating to send small battlefield drones to Russia.
Well, we're confident that the Chinese leadership is considering the provision of lethal equipment.
CIA Director Bill Burns spoke with CBS's Margaret Brennan for Face the Nation.
We also don't see that a final decision has been made yet, and we don't see evidence of actual shipments of lethal equipment.
The Chinese have also put forward their own 12-point peace plan, and although it doesn't explicitly call for Russia to withdraw and President Biden dismissed it, President Zelensky said he would be willing to meet with Xi Jinping. Christina Ruffini, CBS News, the White House.
Rallies were happening in Washington, D.C. earlier today. Ukrainian Ambassador Oksana Markarova and U.S. Aid Administrator Samantha Power participated in a hashtag Stand With Ukraine rally to mark 1 year since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine.
Thank you, America, and thank you to each
and every one of you who came today to stand with Ukraine. Thank you.
Groups gathered at the Lincoln Memorial. And with the one-year mark of Russia's invasion, many people across the nation gathered to demonstrate for peace in Ukraine.
Music and mourning as the Ukrainian community marks a grim milestone, 1 year since Russia's invasion.
We are for stopping this war. We're not for the war. We're for the peace that we have together.
Hundreds turned out to the west steps of the Capitol for the 365 Days of Bravery rally, a rain-soaked remembrance honoring the 7,000 civilians, including 400 children, who've been killed over the last year by Russian forces.
Tonight is a remembrance of the fact that the people in Ukraine continue to fight, they continue to win, and they have free people everywhere supporting them.
Scattered throughout the crowd, Ukrainian flags proudly flying and signs denouncing Vladimir Putin.
We want the Russians to realize today, February 24th, it's been a year and they're further back than they were when they started. They're not going to win this.
Even Russians fleeing the war, seeking asylum, were on hand, standing in solidarity with Ukraine.
Russian people are not a bad, and we're really against this war, and everything that Putin done right now, it's absolutely wrong.
Ukrainian pop star Tina Karol sang the country's national anthem, hoping to bring light and love to those who've been forced to flee.
My mission on the art front, give them a hope, give them understanding that world with us.
A somber day with a unified spirit as Ukrainians cling to hope that peace is possible.
We're absolutely sure that Ukraine will win. We will have this victory together.
We'll be right back with more after this. A pair of nesting bald eagles is doing its best to protect its future family while a powerful winter storm delivers heavy snowfall high above Big Bear Valley in California. The famous bald eagle couple, Jackie and Shadow, are taking turns protecting their eggs in their nest, which received several inches of snow Wednesday night. Jackie, the female, and Shadow, the male, have quite an online following thanks to the Friends of Big Bear Valley, a nonprofit that put up a camera focused on the nest some years ago. It has followed the lives of these two eagles since 2018 and previous pairs of eagles who used the nest prior to that.
And that same storm system is going to be affecting us, not with snow, but with more spring-like weather. So we have an alert day tomorrow with a possibility of severe weather, windy on Monday, and then more showers Thursday night into Friday. Some of that could mix over with some snow, and then much nicer conditions after that with another round of showers on Tuesday. And so it's going to be busy tomorrow. Stay tuned. We'll keep you advised right here.
All right, yeah, that's our time for now. Thanks for making us a part of your night.